Picking up where yesterday's episode left off, Hayley appears to be in crippling pain, but refuses to let Dani do anything to help. Instead, she asks another uptown patron to take her to the hospital. He says his name is Sammy, but it's actually Doug's pal Randy. Dani calls Bill to say he can't leave town because Hayley's been rushed to the hospital. Moments later, Sammy, the guy who took Hayley to the hospital, returns to uptown. He tells Dani that Hayley specifically asked that she stay away from the hospital and her. Suddenly, Dani wonders if she knows Sammy from somewhere, but he covers and beats a hasty retreat. In full-blown chief of police mode, Elon confronts Joey about the dead man in the park, saying they both know who it was. When the cop accuses Joey of having ordered a hit on the busboy, the casino owner makes it clear he won't go down alone. Instead, Elon informs Joey that the investigation has been shut down, and the men essentially agree to go their separate ways. Jacob walks in to find his dad and Joey not only together, but shaking on their new arrangement. Once alone, the father and son have a tense conversation. Jacob accuses Elon of looking the other way where Joey's crimes are concerned, only to have his dad point out how often he's protected the Dupree clan. A drunk Doug hosts a pity party, the only other guest being his fed-up wife, Vanessa. "Newsflash!" shouts Doug. "Joey Armstrong is a dangerous man. Hide your kids and hide your wives." Vanessa warns that Joey bugged Doug's car, saying no matter what else is going on, he's still her husband and she cares about him. He begs her to stop laundering money for Joey before he goes down and takes you with him. Doug promises not to pursue his plan to bring down Joey, but begs Vanessa to be careful. Knowing Ashley can't violate HIPAA by revealing what she's been hinting at, Naomi convinces her to share what she knows without revealing names. Naomi wonders why the unnamed woman might have rejected an ultrasound, especially given that her dad showed her an ultrasound. Asking why Hayley would fake a sonogram leads Ashley to reveal that Dani thinks that ain't the only thing Bill's wife is faking. Naomi raises a solid point. Hayley has a ring on her finger and Bill's credit cards in her wallet. Wouldn't any self-respecting gold digger just sit back and enjoy life instead of faking a pregnancy? In the show's final moments, Vanessa tells Joey that she's convinced Doug to back off. Soon after, Doug buys a new phone on which to call Randy, whom he is stunned to discover is not only in town, but sitting at Orphe Jean's. Meanwhile, Naomi finds Hayley on the couch in pajamas, saying she's felt better. Naomi has just one question for her dad's wife. "Why did you lie about the ultrasound?" Their conversation is interrupted by Bill's arrival, at which point Hayley reveals she lost the baby. "Hey babes, welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama." On Beyond the Gates, we have liftoff on the next big storyline. Hayley is playing a long game, and things just got more interesting. How does she know Randy? Or shall we call him Sammy? For the longest time, fans and viewers have suspected Hayley Hamilton of being up to no good, and now they are even more adamant that they were right in painting her with that brush. It was pretty clear to all of us that the scene Hayley made at Uptown was all for show. She was trying to bait Dani into getting vocal and challenging her so that she could use that to her advantage and have an excuse to say something had happened to her baby. Now, why on earth would anyone do that? The word around the campfire is that Hayley is just a gold-digging wretch. The most considerable support of this theory is Dani Dupree, and the reason she's not getting more support is that she is Bill Hamilton's ex-wife. Dani firmly believes, as do most of us fans, that Hayley is just faking the pregnancy as a way of really getting her hooks into Bill. The problem with this is that she never started showing no baby belly for Hayley. Lying about her ultrasound and faking a picture of it has only gotten her so far, and both Ashley and Naomi are aware that the ultrasound never happened. So a scheme was needed. No longer being able to run the baby scam caused Hayley to up the ante. She made a mysterious phone call asking for help, saying it was an emergency, and it had to stay between the two of them, as always. This was indeed critical for Hayley, as within 24 hours, she was going to be taken to the doctors by her husband, where he was going to sit with her while she got an ultrasound to check on the baby and see with his own eyes that the baby was okay after Hayley took a fall at the office. So why would all this effort be made if the pregnancy was legit? Because it's not. After Hayley made a scene at Uptown, she claimed stomach pains, said something was wrong, and rushed to the bathrooms. Upon exiting minutes later, she had blood on her hands and was distraught and yelling for help. "Something is wrong with my baby!" she cried. Dani tried to help but got screamed at, "Stay away from me, you bitch!" Then things got very interesting. Hayley said she would rather go to the hospital with a complete stranger than with Dani, and then pointed at someone in the crowd. And who was it? Randy Parker. He was back in DC. She then asked him to take her to the hospital. Blink, blink, nope. It's the man in black, who we all thought left DC for his safety after the Martin Nightmare saga almost got him killed. Randy offered to help her to the hospital, but when she asked his name, Randy told Hayley that she could call him Sammy. Now it would be prudent to go by another name when trying to avoid Joey Armstrong. But why come back at all? Isn't that a risk? Especially after promising to leave town and never return. Something brought Randy back to Uptown on that very night, and to use a different name. That something was Hayley. It must have been Randy she was on the phone with when she asked for help in an emergency. But why him? And how does she know him? Randy has an ex who has custody of their child, and Hayley has always been adamant that she was an orphan with no family. But I don't believe in coincidences any more than any of you. This miscarriage plan of hers is developing into so much more. Dani managed to get hold of Bill before he left for Atlanta and let him know that something had happened to Hayley. Bill arrived home and was amazed that Hayley was at home and had left the hospital so soon. It was here that Hayley said that she was, in fact, not okay and that she had lost the baby. Bill looked absolutely crushed. Just wait till Naomi tells him that Hayley never had an ultrasound to begin with. Later, Sammy returned to Uptown to collect the purse and phone that Hayley had left behind. Dani was still there and asked how she and the baby were. Sammy said that he didn't stick around and had come back to get the items that Mrs. Hamilton had forgotten. Dani told him, as he was leaving, that she thought he looked familiar. Sammy said he gets that a lot, as he did the John Cena. "You can't see me wave. Trust us, we saw you, Randy. Stay tuned, soap fans, as we just could be on the cusp of the biggest and deepest storyline yet on Beyond the Gates. Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates." On Friday, August 8th, 25. It's come to that moment. Hayley is going to have to tell Bill something that is going to alter what comes next in a big way. Everything has been leading up to this moment, and it started with Hayley refusing to have an ultrasound earlier. Hayley took a fall at the office, and now Bill wants to be there for her doctor's checkup, but an emergency at Uptown has made changes to these plans. In Friday's end-of-the-week Big Moments, Hayley shares news with Bill that affects their future. Is the baby lost? Was there even a baby to start with? Either way, Bill Hamilton is going to be rocked with the news. We were all shocked at Doug's seemingly knee-jerk reaction to Ted, quitting his job that he loves. His wife, Vanessa, was annoyed, and Joey was cautious and angry that Doug had threatened his organization. Joey won't just take it on Vanessa's word that she will get Doug under control, and that makes Joey dangerous and Doug in deep water. How is Doug going to stay one step ahead? The man in black is back. In Friday's episode, Doug recruits Randy for a scheme of his own. The two, day one buddies, team up. The ongoing situationship between Andre, Dani, and Ashley is about to get more interesting. Ashley had a heart-to-heart with her mom, Jan, and was warned against Andre's playboy ways, but Ashley doesn't want to turn back time. In Friday's episode, Andre's ready to discuss matters of the heart, while Ashley has a tense talk with Derek. Will Andre choose Dani, someone who is strong, stunning, and worldly but emotionally unavailable? Or is it the young nurse, Ashley, who could be a stable relationship to build on for a future? Ashley and Andre have been teasing fans with this from the first week the show aired. Is now their time? Beyond the Gates spoilers for Thursday, August 7th imply that Dani Dupree will fall into Hayley Hamilton's trap, While Elon Hawthorne makes a shady decision during the Wednesday, August 6th episode, Hayley was clearly setting Dani up to take the fall for her miscarriage. She poked Dani to get into a fight with her, and Dani took the bait. It's also clear that she's not pregnant, and she's been lying to Bill Hamilton the whole time. Whether Hayley faked pregnancy for attention or to set Dani up in a way that would force Bill to cut ties with his ex-wife and the rest of the Duprees is unknown. Then again, Hayley may have thought she could get away with the charade, but as time wore on, she realized that the scheme was far too much. Either way, Hayley is ending this entire pregnancy debacle with a bang on the Thursday, August 7th show, and Dani will be the one to blame. Speaking of Hayley's fake pregnancy, during the August 6th show, Ashley Morgan was on the cusp of telling Naomi Hawthorne that Hayley never had an ultrasound the day she was admitted to the hospital during her first miscarriage scare. It felt odd to Ashley at the time, especially since Hayley had claimed that she saw the baby on the U.S.E. and knew it was okay. BTG, spoilers for Thursday's show, indicate that Ashley will give Naomi some news that will shake her. Does she spill the beans about her suspicions that Hayley has been faking her pregnancy all along? Why would Hayley do this? Maybe she can't conceive and is hoping she can deflect Bill's need to grow a new family by pretending to be pregnant, only to miscarry. Hayley may work out the trauma of this miscarriage in hopes that he doesn't push children on her any further. Across town, Elon will make a decision at the police station about Kenny's murder investigation. The chief of police knows exactly who caused Kenny's demise, but in a play to bury Kenny, his secrets, and blackmail, he may label this a cold case and close the investigation, effective immediately. That way, everyone can finally move on from this, once and for all. Still, Beyond the Gates spoilers note that if he does, this is sure to raise some red flags with Jacob Hawthorne, who is literally the only person in the Dupree family at this point that doesn't know Kenny's real link to Martin Richardson's secret. Will he cause a fuss over his dad's decision? Here's what went down Thursday, August 7th, 2025, on Beyond the Gates when Ashley played real detective Jacob got gaslit, again, and Doug didn't have to play detective to make a shocking discovery. On Beyond the Gates, Ashley thought back to being told that Hayley had never had an ultrasound. As Naomi could tell, Ashley had information about the baby. When Naomi pressed, Ashley said she couldn't break doctor-patient confidentiality, but took the hint when Naomi suggested that Ashley not use names in her story. Naomi was confused to learn that the patient had refused to allow her baby to be scanned. Ashley theorized that perhaps she had been afraid to have the procedure for one reason or another, but then recalled Hayley explicitly telling her that she'd had it done. Naomi relayed that Bill had shown her a still from Hayley's ultrasound and didn't think it possible that Hayley would have presented him with a fake image. Ashley explained how she'd heard Dani emphatically stating that Hayley couldn't be pregnant. She now thought it possible that Dani might be right. Naomi listened as Ashley continued about Dani's vehemence that Hayley was trying to hold on to Bill. Dani's daughter felt that Hayley was already well-positioned with Bill, even without a baby. Ashley speculated that Hayley could be scared of Bill leaving her for Dani. Naomi called her parents "dunzo," but Ashley wasn't as certain. Still processing a breakup, Ashley could empathize with someone being drawn to an ex. Naomi recollected that Ashley had wanted to talk about Derek. "And Andre Richardson," Ashley added sheepishly. Yet, Ashley deferred when she saw that Naomi was focused on the mystery of Hayley. Naomi decided to get some answers from Hayley herself. At Uptown, a panicked Hayley emerged from the ladies' room with blood on her hands and clothes. Dani rushed to Hayley, who screamed, "Don't you dare touch me!" When Dani moved to call an ambulance, Hayley didn't want to wait for one, so Dani offered to drive Hayley to the hospital herself. "Don't do me any favors, bitch!" Hayley seethed. Mrs. Hamilton chose a random stranger, Randy, who said his name was Sammy, to bring her in for medical care. Dani didn't think the absent Bill would feel right about Hayley riding in with someone she'd just met and wanted to accompany them. Hayley loudly proclaimed that she didn't feel safe with Dani. Once Sammy escorted Hayley out, Dani called Bill and stopped him from boarding his flight with news of Hayley's situation. He wanted details that Dani couldn't give. Dani begged Bill to acknowledge that she would never allow a baby to be hurt, no matter how she felt about its mother. Bill was relieved to hear that his wife was on the way to the hospital, and Dani told Bill that Hayley needed him, especially because she seemed to have lost a lot of blood.
"I'm sorry,"
Dani whispered as Bill hung up to race to Garland from the airport. Sammy came back to Uptown to find Hayley's handbag, with Dani pelting him with questions about Hayley and the baby. He reported that he had seen Hayley being wheeled into the ER, and that he had come back for her purse and phone. Dani wanted to deliver the items personally, but Sammy said that Hayley had left express instructions for Dani not to go anywhere near the hospital. Sammy hurried out after Dani remarked that he looked familiar. Dani soon got a follow-up text from Andre, who had messaged before. He wanted to see her, so she gulped down the rest of her martini and made her own exit. A satisfied Hayley hung out at home in her pajamas, but received a shock when Naomi showed up unannounced. Playing up her bedclothes, Hayley said she wasn't feeling well and recommended that Naomi return later. Instead, Naomi asked Hayley why she had lied about having an ultrasound. Hayley tried to flip things and feigned outrage about Naomi having Ashley poke into her medical records. Just then, Bill arrived home, surprised that his wife had already left the hospital. Naomi and Bill heard Hayley confess that she had lost the baby. Elon visited Joey at the casino on official police business, specifically about the murder in Stance Park. Joey pretended not to know anything about Kenneth's death, but Elon was adamant that he hadn't agreed to anyone being killed. Elon knew that Joey had given the order. After Joey dared Elon to arrest him, Elon announced that he had closed the investigation, which he considered a huge favor to Joey. Armstrong snarked that Elon had also done the favor for Vernon, Bill, Martin, Ted, and Marcel. Elon expected Joey to keep quiet about anything involving Kenneth, but just as the men shook hands on it, Jacob entered and witnessed it. Jacob was disgusted to find his father associating with a criminal element like Joey. After Joey excused himself, Jacob called Elon a crooked cop based on what he'd learned from Marcel about Elon closing the Stance case. Having followed Elon to the casino afterwards and seeing the police chief all buddy-buddy with Joey, Jacob felt he had enough to prove conspiracy, though Elon called his son's evidence circumstantial. Elon closed his eyes as a disillusioned Jacob went over how he'd become a cop because of Elon, and how Elon handing Jacob his badge upon graduating from the police academy had been the proudest moment of Jacob's life. "Were you dirty then?" Jacob demanded to know. Elon roared for Jacob to shut his impudent, ungrateful mouth and to realize how much he had protected the junior detective, owing to his choir boy methods. The elder Hawthorne felt that Jacob needed to understand that both cops and criminals did what they had to do to survive. Answering Jacob's accusation of corruption, Elon noted that Jacob had failed to prosecute Nicole for assaulting Leslie and Dani for firing a gun at her ex's wedding, because Naomi had asked him not to detain them. Jacob looked daunted as Elon conceded that an officer had a duty to their family as well as to the law. But Elon also railed at Jacob for his hypocrisy in breaking the rules when he wanted, yet holding everyone else up to an impossible standard. Elon told Jacob to look in the mirror the next time he made allegations and informed the detective in an official capacity that he would not be bringing Jacob up on charges resulting from his dereliction regarding Dani and Nicole. As far as the body in Stance Park, Elon reiterated that the investigation was closed, and Jacob was being busted down to desk duty for the time being. Vanessa recalled promising Joey that she would tamp down Doug's threats to expose Joey to the police. Doug met Vanessa at Orphe Jean's, drunk and aggrieved that Ted had questioned his surgical abilities. Vanessa tried to get Doug to understand that Joey was dangerous, and that Doug needed to stop antagonizing him. Doug didn't think Joey's treachery was any secret, but Vanessa remembered Joey telling her he had arranged for a man to be disposed of. She wouldn't get into specifics with her husband about what her lover was capable of. Doug was saddened that Vanessa was cavorting with a man who obviously frightened her. The ex-surgeon boasted that Joey couldn't touch him, but his smile faded when Vanessa revealed that Joey had bugged Doug's car. He realized Vanessa was right about him needing to be more careful and sensed that she had some idea about what else Joey could do. Vanessa maintained that she still cared about Doug, which was why she was warning him. Doug felt that Vanessa needed to take her own advice and put distance between herself and Joey, because Doug cared about her too. The McBrides lamented the shambles they had made of their marriage. Vanessa took responsibility for her part in that. Doug hoped Vanessa would stop doing business with Joey for her own sake, but Vanessa was hesitant to lose her 10% cut and was sure Joey was being careful enough that he wouldn't end up in jail. The doctor knew Vanessa would take the fall if Joey got caught. Vanessa recognized that it was already too late for her to back out. Plus, Vanessa pointed out, if Doug exposed Joey, he'd end up exposing her as well and subject her to 20 years behind bars. Doug promised to keep quiet about the money laundering, but pointed out that he was only doing it for Vanessa, the mother of his children, Donald and Deanna. Left to his own devices, Doug mentioned, he would have chanced unmasking Joey to get him off the streets and out of their lives. Vanessa smiled when Doug wanted to play any music Joey hated in his car for Joey to hear via the bug. Mrs. McBride advised Mr. McBride that his hushing would benefit him as well, bringing up how Joey had gone after Randy for his betrayal. Vanessa traveled to the casino to let Joey know that she had ensured Doug's silence. Meanwhile, Doug returned to the diner and found Randy, and declared his childhood friend insane for showing up in town. Also in BTG's Thursday, August 7th episode, Elon and Jacob's perfect father-son relationship has been shredded. Whoa, we're kind of exhausted after the Thursday, August 7th episode of Beyond the Gates. A lot of drama erupted, including Hayley's miscarriage plan. Dani prevented Bill from flying to Atlanta. Ashley and Naomi connected the fake pregnancy dots. Doug and Vanessa hashed out Doug's behavior that's making Joey Armstrong very, very upset. And Elon admonished his Boy Scout of a son, Jacob. We have questions, concerns, and can even admit that Ashley scored some serious points today. Hayley may be in real trouble here. She's a sneaky one, however, so she's not down and out just yet. Hayley disappeared into the bathroom at Uptown or wherever she went. When she returned to the main room, she was in pain, and there was blood. She was making sure Dani stayed away from her and didn't take her to the hospital. Instead, she relied on the kindness of a stranger and, well, that was no stranger to us. That was Randy, although he said his name was Sammy. So Hayley must have hired or called in a favor from Sammy to help her play out the inevitable fake miscarriage that comes after a fake pregnancy. How does she know Randy? Once we find out, will it fill in some of her much-needed backstory? At the same time that Hayley had moved her plan into the miscarriage stage, Ashley and Naomi were having a conversation where the nurse had to walk a fine line between violating HIPAA laws and being able to answer Naomi's questions. Ultimately, they were able to guess that Hayley may have faked the sonogram images, because she certainly declined to have an ultrasound the day that Dani brought her into the hospital. But Naomi had seen the sonogram pictures that her dad said Hayley had given him later. Plus, Ashley gave Naomi a heads up on Dani's theory that fateful day. She claimed that Hayley was faking her pregnancy. Hayley is already at home convalescing on the couch. She is ready for her post-baby era, where she can gain a ton of sympathy from Bill and his attention. We're still trying to figure out her goal for faking the pregnancy. Naomi got to her first and asked Hayley why she was lying about the ultrasound. Unfortunately, Bill walked right in and was worried about his wife, who told him that she had lost the baby. Bill is going to have to wonder why Hayley was already home and that she spent almost no time at the hospital, right? He'll have to be curious about the timeline. Does Hayley have any other people that she asks for mysterious favors that can create hospital paperwork/test results documenting her hospital visit? Well, at least we can say that Jacob holds his father up to the strict standards he holds everybody else to. Jacob followed his dad to Joey's casino, where father and son had a big blowout. Elon was finally able to tell Jacob that this world, especially the cop universe, wasn't black and white, that it's more like shades of gray. He let his son know in no uncertain terms that Jacob had looked the other way in the past when it involved his wife's family. But nobody else gets to blur the lines every once in a while? The conversation felt very Training Day-esque, and Elon was Denzel Washington, and Jacob was Ethan Hawke. Ultimately, Elon didn't appreciate his son calling him a corrupt cop. He did what he had to do. Yes, he already closed the bigoted busboy murder investigation, and there was no arrest, and Elon knew there was never going to be one, which provided a sigh of relief for Joey Armstrong. Jacob lives life on a strict, moral high ground, but, like others, bends the rules once in a while. Elon, as chief of police, brought the hammer down on his son. It's desk duty for Jacob for the foreseeable future. The young cop will never see his dad with the same rose-colored glasses again. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, August 8th hint at some major moments in Fairmont Crest. Bill Hamilton is given bad news, while Doug McBride attempts to lure someone into a scheme. Plus, Andre Richardson gets honest with another character on the canvas. Read on to learn more about what's coming up on the CBS soap. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, August 8th imply that Hayley Hamilton will give Bill some bad news that has massive repercussions on their relationship. It sounds like she'll tell Bill about her miscarriage. However, will he also learn she's been faking it the entire time, or will this fly under the radar? Hayley poked at Dani Dupree at the bar during the Wednesday, August 6th show, seemingly on purpose, to blame Bill's ex-wife for her baby loss. So what happens next? Speaking of Dani, her situationship with Andre could be in jeopardy during Friday's episode. Added teasers suggest that Andre will have an honest and heartfelt discussion with someone, and it could be that he's ready to break things off with Dani. After all, he had an epiphany during the August 6th episode when talking to Ashley Morgan. Ashley is on the fence about pursuing a romance with Andre, but the very thought of being in a relationship with someone who wants a future with him made him realize he was just settling with Dani and that he wanted more. Even if Ashley backs out on moving forward with a committed relationship, Andre concluded that he needed to end things with Dani. How will Ms. Dupree take the news? Finally, Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Friday, reveal that Doug will try and draw Randy Parker into his sticky situation. Doug has been spiraling this week, not only leaving his job at the hospital, but also threatening his wife, Vanessa McBride, that he was going to blackmail Joey Armstrong. Of course, Joey heard all the details, as he has Doug's car bugged. But does Doug know? From the sounds of it, Doug's gotten rather cocky. So will he try and get Randy in on his scheme to blackmail Joey? Doug is messing with the wrong casino owner. While Randy and Doug have been friends since they were children, will Randy turn his back on Joey? Or will he throw Doug under the bus? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.